Hi all, it's Keenan. Welcome back to my channel. I said in the last video, first of all, that I'm back. Hi, sorry I've been gone for so long. Secondly, I'm going to be doing more freeform videos like I've been doing on here about certain topics, but do leave comments below about topics you want to hear more about. My other channel, Phoenix Rising Astrology, is a new channel, and I'm going to be breaking down the complications of astrology into very simple language to help people help themselves and see others and see the world in a brighter, more encouraging and informative way. So if you're interested in those type of videos, go to Phoenix Rising Astrology in the link below in the description box and hit subscribe. And go ahead and join that channel as well. But I am going to continue videos on this channel. And I said in the last video that I was going to talk about the transits happening. So, right now, and it started on April 20th, and it lasts until September 28th, we have Pluto in retrograde. So what is Pluto? I know I've talked about Pluto on this channel before because I talked about being Scorpio and having Pluto be a strong thing in my chart, but yeah, Pluto rules Scorpio. Co-rules. Mars also rules Scorpio. So think about the trait of a Scorpio calling out the dead things in other people, right? This can either be low vibrational in that the Scorpio does that to others in order to bring them down to their level because that Scorpio has not ascended out of their own death, out of their own personal deaths. They, instead of ascending above that like the Phoenix, we keep self-destructing by only seeing the death and not seeing above it. So when there's a Pluto cycle, like we're having right now, I mean, Pluto is always going through the planets. That's how it goes. But right now, Pluto's in Capricorn. Capricorn rules structures and governments, power structures and governments of the world. So when Pluto is in that, it is that energy that calls out the death and decay in government structures and other power structures. Right? Crazy. So that's been going on since 2008, and it lasts until beginning of 2024. Goes retrograde back into Aquarius, but then really goes into Aquarius direct in 2024. So we're in it, y'all, for another 7 years. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this retrograde and how it can launch us forward because big things are happening every day. I'm trying to do a collective sigh with y'all. Let's just do it. Every time we turn on the news, there's some new fresh chaos. And this doesn't matter what your political party is. It's simply that there's just lots of drama all around the world. Pluto and Capricorn. It's bringing out the corruption, death, and decay in governmental structures and power structures. Power structures could also, let's talk about this. Power structures could be your work. It could be a business that you work for. It could be your field of work. Because we're thinking about things that are Capricorn, right? It can be money. Even though that's more Taurus, frankly, governments control money, right? Or banks control money. So it could be banks. Those are power structures. It could be calling out the power structures of home and family, of what is the power dynamic of a family, what is the power dynamic of people. Pluto is about personal power or lack thereof. So when I say that Pluto calls out the death in things, it's calling out the death and decay in things. If something in your life is killing you, Pluto is going to say, this is killing you. Stop it, you idiot. So when Pluto is in retrograde, you're going to feel a heightened sense of this. So if you have things in your life that are really causing you to self-destruct or simply be self-destructive, it could be relationships in which you are codependent, right? That causes self-destruction. You keep looking outside of yourself to others in order to complete the hollowness within. And Pluto in retrograde right now is going to be making you feel even more powerless, even more insecure, even like you're rotting from the inside. Pluto retrograde is can be really challenging, especially for those who have a lot of Scorpio energy. Right now, Pluto is retrograding through my 8th house, which I actually don't have anything in my 8th house in my natal chart, but I'm a Scorpio with a Scorpio stellium, and Pluto is conjunct my sun in the 5th house. So it is still hitting my Pluto and my sun, and that with Saturn retrograde, it's like, oh my God. But here's where I was saying in 2 videos ago how I want this to be encouraging and higher vibrational. I want to talk about the opportunities of Pluto retrograde. There's so many more opportunities right now with Pluto being in retrograde, with us seeing our sense of powerlessness or seeing our sense of death and decay within ourselves. Pluto is highlighting that until September. So you really have an opportunity during this retrograde. And there's a Pluto retrograde every year. But you have this opportunity to look at what is killing you. Find out where Pluto is in your chart. Like in mine, it's in my 8th house. So it's really hitting on all of my Scorpio energy. It's really hitting on that sense of what is decaying within me. What are either relationship ideals, what are ideas for jobs, what are ideas for my future, what are behavioral patterns that cause self-destruction and therefore then cause harm to others. Because if you're a Scorpio and Pluto's in retrograde, it's really going to bring out that tendency to be self-destructive. I have been self-destructive far too often in the last month since Pluto went into retrograde. It happens. And so that's something to say about it as well, is that when Pluto is in retrograde, it's really important. It's highlighting the powerlessness so you cannot feel powerless anymore. It's not highlighting it for you to continue feeling powerless. This is the thing about astrology, is you could look at it as fatalistic or something that is meant to bring you down, especially with the planets Pluto and Saturn, because they are tough. They're not happy-go-lucky, right? Saturn being the teacher and Pluto being the reaper. If you have death and decay in you, Pluto right now is going, here's what's wrong with you, here is what is killing you, right? It's like those of you who aren't Scorpios, who have Scorpio friends, that when they get close to you, they start telling you everything that is killing you, and it feels really harsh and like it's too much and too intense, because the Scorpio is like, that's what's wrong with you, stop doing that. And we do it in really offhanded, weird ways as Scorpios that we understand but that you don't understand, or maybe we don't even understand. But that's Pluto energy. That's what it's doing. So use this opportunity of the Pluto retrograde to really look at what is harming you, what you could do without. Just as a few other examples, like if you have Pluto in your 1st house right now, like if you're a Capricorn rising, Pluto's going to be in your 1st house because Pluto's in Capricorn right now. So if that's where your Pluto is, or if that's where Pluto is in your chart, if it's in the 1st house, it's going to be showing you in your life, since 1st house is about self-identity, it's going to be showing you where you are inauthentic in your expression of your self-identity. And 1st house specifically out to the outer world, since that rules our ascendant or rising sign. First house is all about that. It's your shell, it's your exterior, it's your outer expression. Pluto is going to say, here is what is failing, here's what's dead in your outer expression, here's what no longer suits you. Are you going to move past it, or are you going to continue tripping over it? Because if you're tripping, it's going to feel very, like, you're going to feel more insecure about it, and it's going to be more noticeable, like, no one likes me, or there's something wrong with me, or I just can't express myself the way I want, or maybe I want to cut off all my hair, or maybe I want to grow my hair and not cut my toenails. Please cut your toenails, you. But, or just like at least clean them, do you, but. So yeah, Pluto in the first house is calling that out. If Pluto, let's say, is in your fourth house, you'll probably be experiencing a lot of sense of personal death in your family. If Pluto in your fourth house retrograde could be bringing personal loss in your family life. Someone who you consider family could be on their way out of this world. If Pluto is in your seventh house, I'm sorry, that would be bringing personal loss and death and destruction in some ways to your relationships that are inauthentic and that don't serve you. Right now I have Saturn in my seventh and it's retrograde, and Saturn returns have been going on 3 years, and Saturn continues to just rub up against my Uranus and approaching my actual Saturn again. Seventh house transits are not fun, especially if you like to be in relationship with people and you like to be friends with people. Seventh house is hard for partnerships. So Pluto in the seventh will bring out anything that is rotten, that is inauthentic, that is not you about your relationships. It'll show you if you're codependent, you'll probably be experiencing some pretty heavy personal loss in your seventh house, and your sense of relationships and friendships. So that's Pluto in retrograde. That's an example. So again, it's until the end of September. It is a yearly transit, so we spend a good portion of each year, 4 or 5 months with Pluto in retrograde. So this isn't like it's atypical, but in case it feels extra heavy, go ahead and check out where Pluto is in your chart. It could be hitting and aspecting some things. So yeah, that's Pluto in retrograde. I'm going to make another video to talk about the Saturn in retrograde. Okay, stay tuned.